Hi, it's Taylor T. Carlson. I'm here with another video for you. Suits, ties, sunglasses, everything's green. That can only mean one thing. It's time for the Matrix. Specifically, we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the complete Matrix Trilogy on 4K, Best Buy exclusive Steelbook edition. If you're a fan of these films, you've probably owned them on every format, from VHS and DVD to Blu-ray, and now they've finally arrived on 4K. They've actually been available on the format for quite some time now, but Best Buy has just put out this Steelbook package which combines all three movies. And if you're a fan, I'm going to help you determine whether or not this is the version of the films on 4K you should own. I've taken a few pictures of the packaging, and I'll be giving my own criticisms here in just a moment. As you can see, this package combines all three films into one compact package, which really is not any larger than your average home video case these days. You've got the three movies in the package, and no excessive sizing or anything, so it'll fit right in on your DVD shelf, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever formats you own. This should fit on the shelf with absolutely no problem. I'm not going to go too detailed on plot summaries, recaps of the films, my personal review. I think these movies have been reviewed enough that I don't think I really need to revisit them, but for those who are not familiar with them, all one or two of you in the modern world, the films revolve around a young computer hacker named Neo who's hot on the trail of someone named Morpheus, and it turns out that the so-called real world isn't really the real world, but rather human beings are grown and they're tricked into living in something called the Matrix, which is what we think is the real world, but it's really not. And meanwhile, in the true real world, there's a war going on between humans and machines, and there's a lot going on. I could probably spend a good 15-minute video just describing the plot of these films without even going in depth, but again, you're probably just here to learn about this specific package, so I'll keep things simple. The first film in the series, which came out in 1999, is by far the best of the three. It has amazing special effects, action, sci-fi, a gripping plot, and a little bit of everything. It's definitely a film that rocked the world when it first came out. I don't know how many films I've seen employing all the wire effects on people, all the bullet time effects. But this is where a lot of that began, and it still remains a classic to this day. The first film was followed up by two sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, both of which were released in 2003. The sequels tend to ditch the more philosophical elements for a more action-packed experience, which it certainly comes at the expense of some depth, but you can't deny that there are some great action sequences in these films. Again, I'll still give the nod to the original, but the sequels are not without their charms. What you probably want to know if you're watching this review, this video, is how do the films look in 4K? The short answer is pretty damn good. People need to understand, first of all, though, that some of these special effects are a little dated. It's been 2 decades since the original movie came out, and the sequels weren't too far behind, and you are going to see a few minor, soft picture areas in the spots where some of the special effects were done. That's simply because of how they looked, how they were done originally, and again, that's certainly not the fault of the filmmakers, the cinematographers, and so forth. You're also going to see a lot of film grain in the images. That's something that should be there because, again, it's how the movies were shot, and if you remove film grain from the picture using questionable remastering techniques, you're going to start removing detail from the pictures anyway. There are websites that talk about this at large for great length, several paragraphs. I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to research that more, there are plenty of websites that cover that in more depth and far more detail than I ever could. Unfortunately, even though these films look absolutely great in 4K and they hold up pretty well 2 decades later, you may have noticed something in the packaging that's a little discontenting. It's only the 3 films on 4K. There are no included Blu-ray discs, and there's also no included special features disc. That means the only features that you get on here in addition to the films are the commentary tracks and the text intros from the Wachowskis, who directed the films. When I purchased this Steelbook, it was priced at $75 on the Best Buy website, and the problem is this is actually priced higher than the non-Steelbook set, which has Blu-ray copies of all 3 movies in addition to the 4K discs, as well as a special features bonus disc. Now, normally, I understand when they're doing Steelbooks and collector's packaging a lot of the time, it's more of a niche market thing, and people generally won't mind too much, but when you're paying this much over the cost of the traditional release, it's just not acceptable. One thing that's also missing from this package is the Animatrix, which was the collection of animated shorts, which the Wachowskis only had limited involvement with, but especially from fans of the franchise and animation, that's pretty highly revered. To be fair, that was also not included in the normal non-Steelbook sets, so that gives me hope that Warner Brothers eventually wants to put out a 4K remastered standalone version of the Animatrix. I'm hoping that's what we will see in the near future, but again, only time will tell. So, what is my final verdict? Again, as much as I love these films, I can't quite recommend the Steelbook version from Best Buy because it omits too many things that you get in the non-Steelbook version, which, unfortunately, is actually cheaper and gives you more content. So, I'm just going to have to say, go with the standard release on this one. Just the regular box set. Again, it's got all the movies in 4K, all of them in Blu-ray as well. Plus, it's got the bonus features disc. The only bonus features in this set, because you only get the movie discs, are the Wachowski text intros and the commentaries. All of which are good, but everything should have been included here one way or another. So as is, this one is only for the most die-hard of Matrix fans and Steelbook collectors. Again, this is Taylor T. Carlson. I will see you on my next video. Be sure and subscribe and hit that like button down there.